staying warm. What a story. This is coming out of New York City. Police are searching for a very vile sicko sadist who sexually assaulted a dead man on an R train in New York City subway. Here's the set information. News 4 New York is the source. Welcome to the Vault Excel, everybody.
Police are looking for a man behind a vile attack on a subway in Lower Manhattan. And a warning here, some of the details you are about to hear are extremely disturbing. Law enforcement sources with direct knowledge of the case say this man performed sex acts on another man who died on an R train. NYPD officers responded to reports of a body on that train at the Whitehall subway station just after midnight. That was yesterday. When officers looked at video from subway cameras, our police sources say they found the man in the yellow hoodie there sexually abusing the corpse, stopping only when passengers entered or exited the train. Police say that man had been dead for several hours before that vile attack.
All right,
Police are
everybody.
looking for a man behind a vile attack.
This is New York City, okay? Very crazy, crazy story. And just a few days before this event, Lower Manhattan, they're searching for another male. He looks Hispanic, and he attempted to rape a woman on the subway. I don't know what the hell's going on in New York, but there's a lot of funny business going on. And I also learned of a man attacking women, groping women in Chicago. He's been doing this for some time, a year or more, and information has come about pertaining to him attempting to grope a young lady, or groping a young lady in on the L in Chicago. So you see, we have sadists out here. If you see this man, please notify police immediately. If you know him, turn him in. If you know of his whereabouts, you're friends with him, family, turn him in. More than likely, he's just strolling the city looking for people to violate. I'm going to bring you information from an article pertaining to the dead man and this suspect. Welcome to the Vault Excel, everybody. New York subways have been the subject of debate, with politicians using them to paint the city as out of control and dangerous to residents and visitors. New York Times is the source of this information, everybody.
Police seek man who they say violated a corpse on an R train. This article is by Chelsea Rose Marquius and read by an automated voice. The police were searching on Thursday for a man investigators believed violated a dead man Wednesday night on a train in a Manhattan subway station, according to an internal police document. The person who died boarded an R train at around 8 p.m., according to a law enforcement official with knowledge of the matter and the internal document. It was unclear on Thursday when or how the person died. A man entered the same train car at around 11 p.m. at the Whitehall Street South ferry station in the financial district, according to the official. Within 45 minutes, the man saw the dead man and began to rummage through his pockets, the official said. The man then began to have sex with the body, according to the official and the document. Inside the train car, the official said. Soon after, the man got off the train and fled, the police said. The police on Thursday released images of the man captured by the surveillance cameras. He had a goatee, was carrying a black backpack, and was wearing a yellow hooded sweatshirt, a black puffer jacket, and a blue Los Angeles Dodgers baseball cap. The episode occurred as New York City's subways have become a subject of national debate, with the Trump administration's transportation secretary pointing them out as examples of poor governance. They have been the site of several high-profile random that have shocked the city. But crime dropped to record lows in the first 3 months of the year. Major crimes in the subways, including robberies and felony assaults, declined 18% from January 1st through March 31st. To the second lowest level in nearly 3 decades, police officials said at a news conference last week. There were no murders during the same period for the first time in 7 years, the official said.
Okay.
Police seek man who they...
Sorry about that. Okay, New York Times is the source. So let's recap what was said. The police believe the victim died on the train sometime after 8 p.m. on Wednesday. The cause of death has not been determined. So what will the coroner find during the autopsy? Has the autopsy been performed already? What was the matter of death? Who is this man who died on the train? Condolences to the family. So then we have the suspect who enters the train, our train, at Whitehall Street, South Ferry Financial District. He enters on the train about 11. They believe the dead man entered about 8 after 8. So that means the dead man's been on the train dead for at least less than 3 hours. Don't know when he died, slumped over. I'm sure they'll give us more information from the surveillance of the video of the man sitting upright and then slumping over. So how was he positioned on the train? Was he slumped over head first toward his knees, slumped over to the right, slumped over to the left, head back? How was he positioned in his seat? Why didn't anyone call authorities in the subway to say, hey, I think there's a guy who's not asleep? But naturally, people learn to mind their own business in the cities. They don't navigate like many people do in other parts of the United States because you know you can't get involved in certain things. It's just not the best advice for your livelihood. So if you've never lived in a city, that is rule number 1. No eye contact. Be careful about being too friendly, talkative to people, strangers, especially on trains and buses. So people probably were just minding their business, thought the guy was asleep, but he wasn't. He was dead. Authorities have been searching for this sadist on Thursday, and they say he violated a man Wednesday night on an R train at Manhattan subway station. And this is from an internal police document. A man entered the train car 11 p.m. at Whitehall Street, South Ferry Station in the financial district. Within 45 minutes, he saw the dead man and began to rummage through his pockets. The man then began to have sex with the body, according to the official document. Sexual acts were captured on surveillance cameras inside the train car soon after the man got off the train and fled. So how long was he assaulting this man? Lots of questions, no answers. Once again, if you see this heathen, please alert the authorities as soon as possible. This is foul. While I was searching for the information to bring to you for this live stream, there's another sadist roaming New York. He committed acts before this guy here, and he's wanted as well. Looks like a Hispanic male, younger male, and he assaulted a woman, tried to rape a woman in the New York subway. So we've got a lot of hanky-panky going on in the subway, sadist streets by people. You don't know people. Say this all the time. You have people out here looking for people to harm, and that's a sadist job. He, she, they're out hunting people, and that's what this foul thing did on this subway Wednesday night. It's bad enough you're going through the man's pockets looking for whatever. So did he steal any value off the man? Credit card, debit card, ID, take any valuables, watch, rings. But then you take it to the next level besides robbery. You're now having sex with a corpse. I need not even ask what he did to him. We'll use our imagination. This is a foul thing. He's not even a human. He's a thing. Some say they wouldn't even put him in a category with an animal. Because as you know, an animal is the nature of the beast for an animal to be in the wild, savage, because it's an animal. But here we have a human walking by us, out hunting people. This is disgusting. Okay, it's one thing to violate a human, period. Child, adult. But Jesus Christ, the man's dead. What are you gaining? Robbing the man or whatever you found on him, didn't find. Once again, I don't know if he took anything, but they say he was rummaging through his pockets. And then he decided to perform sexual acts on a dead man. And then they said he was stopped when people entered the train. So that's even more crazy. That means you people had to have seen something. Because think about what you're saying. We don't know how they're positioned, because I'm not trying to get, raunchy in this live, but we got to use common sense, how seats are set up on a train. Okay? How seats are set up on a train. So how is he violating the people? And then when he sees somebody come in, he stops and does what? Sit down beside the dead person? Because how is this working if the person is slumped over You can't be doing but one thing, either putting your mouth there or you're penetrating them from the back. So if the person's penetrating them from the back, then that means the person has to be lying down with their feet dangling off the seat, and you don't find that strange entering the train car? Come on. This is bullshit. This is bullshit that nobody even called to say, hey, there's some funny, dirty shit going on the R train. There's a guy in a black puffy jacket, yellow hoodie. He's sexually assaulting a man, and the man don't look like he's alive. Come on now. The fact that you have this on video and you said it, oh, well, he stopped when the people entered the train car. So this is what I'm trying to say, not to be disrespectful in my description, but we're going to use common sense on sexual acts. How is it that nobody not noticing this? Because even if he stops, it still should look peculiar to you, like, okay, what the hell's going on over here? Well, what the hell's going on over in that seat over there? This is crazy to me. Dear God, help us. The images have been released to the public, which you see here. He has a goatee, carrying a black backpack, wearing a yellow hooded sweatshirt, black puffer jacket, and a blue Los Angeles Dodgers baseball cap. They've talked about high-profile random attacks that have shocked the city pertaining to the subway. But in this commentary, it says the crime dropped to record lows first 3 months of the year. Major crimes in the subways, including robberies, felony assaults, declined 18% from January 1st through March 31st, to the second lowest level in nearly 3 decades, police officials said in a news conference last week. There were no murders during the official said. So in 3 months, there were no murders this year compared to previous stats. Oh my God. What the hell is going on here? Wednesday night, R train. So we're talking about a dead man on the train, dead under 3 hours. At some point he passed away. Maybe he had a heart attack, stroke. And he's just riding the train dead. Nobody's noticing he's dead or cares. And then this vile creature rummages through his pockets after 45 minutes of getting onto the train and decides to sexually assault him after rummaging through pockets. This is just absolutely ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. And you can best believe he's walking around watching himself on the TV, social media, knowing that somebody's going to point him out. Now, is he homeless? Is he a transient? Is he from New York, New Jersey? Where is he from? And I doubt that he has not done this type of behavior. He's obviously a homosexual man. The fact that he's penetrating or doing nasty things to a man or sexual acts with a man on a public train that's dead tells me he obviously likes men. That's your choice, but Jesus Christ, you're raping a dead man in a public place on an R train. Are you serious? So he's possibly raped before. This is sickening. That you can't even be dead in a public place without being assaulted. You're already dead. Can't get any worse. And then somebody comes by and violates you in the worst way. So this is what I always say about people. If they don't show any respect for you when you're dead, they don't show respect for people when they're living. So you already see this is a living creature who's walking amongst us, and he's done other savage deeds because he's been caught on camera raping a dead man. So imagine what he's been doing in his spare time while roaming the city, looking for victims and people to rob and assault. When I get an update to this story, I will bring you the said information. Please take the polls on my community page. Please check out my shorts. I will be uploading a shorts pertaining to this story after this live stream. And also, the Menendez brothers has a small victory. They will get a bid at a resentencing. That's the latest information coming out of California. And once again, another man attempted to assault a woman a few days ago, also in the New York subway. So when I get an update to that, I'll post it to my community page. Hope you all are well. I have 3 movie suggestions for this weekend on my community page. Please check out those said movies and trailers. Feel free to check them out. They're all free on the Tubi app. If you have a Roku TV or Roku box, please check them out. We live in a savage world. And this is just disturbing to even hear this type of BS. But the point is, he's done this before. You can best believe this. He's probably been walking around the city raping, what am I trying to say? Raping homeless people. He's probably homeless himself. It won't shock me none that we'll find out that this is possibly a homeless man, man living in a shelter or something, and on his free time, he just walks around in the city looking for people to abuse and assault. I'm trying to go to my community page so I can pull up my movie suggestions for you guys. Hold on one second if I can find it. Hope you all are well. Yes, it's very gross. Hello, Gold. How you doing, sweetheart? Thank you all so much for tuning in to this live stream. Oh, man. It's just like, it can't get any worse. When you think it can't get any worse, it gets worse. It gets worse by the minute. I saw this the other day and I said, dear God, please tell me no, Satan. Tell me no. Once again, justice for Kaimani Lateef. A public funeral service was held yesterday at a YMCA in Toledo, Ohio. The father of the victim is currently in a Columbus jail in the medical ward. He is now in a wheelchair, and he is yet to be extradited to Toledo to stand for the said charges against Kaimani Lateef. And I posted a few things on my page also pertaining to the deadly crash in the Hudson River. There's new information coming out now about the man who was the pilot, African-American male. That's also on my community page. Oh, what I was supposed to be looking for, my movies. Sorry about that. First movie I have for your entertainment is Rubberneck. Very good movie. This is a very good movie. This is about a woman who had a fling with a coworker. They work at a lab where they do, testing on rats. And one thing begets another. The man can't move on from this weekend fling he had with a coworker after they had a work party. It's a very good movie, and it's based on actual events. It's called Rubberneck. My second movie is kind of a low-budget movie. It's called The Penthouse. It's about a couple who get a penthouse in the Carolinas facing the beach, and they start watching this couple on a boat, and one thing begets another. When they meet the people, the couple, they're deemed nosy by the guy, and he decides to take action upon this couple as revenge for them peeping out of their telescope watching he and the girlfriend. And then y'all are like, dear God, where does Queen get these movies? And then my third suggestion is called Human Capital. It's a very good movie. Lee Schreiber, he's a very good actor. Everybody knows who he is. He stars in this movie where he gives his daughter's boyfriend's father $300,000 to invest, and things go terribly wrong with the investment, and then other things start to spiral out of control. It gets a little slow, but anyway, it's a pretty good movie. So those are my 3 suggestions so far. The other movie I was trying to put up to suggest last night. I can't find it in the YouTube queue, and I can't even find it now on Tubi, and I need to finish it. It's about 3 guys that go camping in California, and after they decide to end their camping trip, they open the trunk of the car, and there's a dead woman in the trunk. So how did she get there? Who put her there? And is this an act of revenge? Queen don't know because she fell asleep on the movie, and now she can't find it in the Tubi queue. So I was Googling trying to find the movie, and I still can't find anything even in the Google search similar to that movie. So I'm like very irritated because I'm like, I want to finish the movie. So hopefully if any of you know the movie, just drop it under that trailer, the name. I mean, drop it on my community page under any of the movie trailers to say, Queen, I found that movie you're looking for. Because I was looking at Tubi today and I can't even find it. It's not even in the movies that I watched or anything, which is very strange. But I hope they didn't get rid of it today. But it's a pretty good movie because it leads off, it starts really well and it follows through, you know. Of the 3 friends, they start turning on each other, which, you know, you already knew that was going to happen. One wants to tell, his conscience is eating him up, and oh my God, it just goes on. And I'm mad I can't find it. But if any of you find it, just drop it under any of the posts. If you go in the queue or Tubi or Google and you find the movie, just say, Queen, I found that movie about the 3 campers. Because I can't remember the name of the movie. But I hope to find it so I can share it with you guys. Yes, I'm having a pretty good weekend. It's chilly here in the high 10, not much going on. But anyway, those are the latest developments. Menendez brothers, they're going to get a chance at a resentencing. I've put on my poll a month or 2 ago, 2 months or so ago, 3 months ago. Do you think they should be resentenced? Should they be resentenced? Should they be paroled? Should they be paroled, let go, free? There's wranglings with the governor and the new state's attorney for Los Angeles County, or Los Angeles district attorney. So right now, I don't know where it's going to go, but right now they're getting a bid. So that's the latest developments, everybody. Yeah, this is crazy. But once again, on my community page, there's another guy they are looking for as well. And he has attempted to assault a lady. NYPD seeks suspect in attempted rape at Lower East Side. This man is accused of attempting to rape a woman inside of a Lower East Side subway Monday morning. Now, he's clean shaven, dark hair, blue shirt. Let me see if I can play that for you guys right quick. Hold on.
Police on the hunt for a suspect who they say tried to sexually assault a woman inside a subway station on the Lower East Side.
Joins us live from the East Broadway station. Lisa, this is many riders on edge.
It totally has many riders, especially women riders on edge, Stephen, Natasha. Now, this happened here about 2:30 this morning at the East Broadway F train station at Essex Street. It was a terrifying ordeal for the woman who managed to get away. Now, the NYPD is looking for this man in connection with the attempted sexual assault. Police say a 30-year-old woman was waiting on the northbound F train platform when the suspect approached her from behind. She moved away from him and went up a nearby escalator. Police say he grabbed her from behind, pulled her pants down, and tried to rape her right there on the escalator. The woman was able to get to her phone and started dialing 911, but then the suspect snatched the phone from her and from her hand. He just grabbed it right out of her hand and threw it over the side of the escalator. Police say he ran away. Here's what one rider told us.
I'm not feeling well every day on the train. I'm sometimes uncomfortable, and yeah, I'm scared sometimes. I don't take the train at night. The night I don't take the train at all. So at night you won't take the train? No.
Now, the NYPD tells us that it is actively looking for the suspect, who they say is about 5 feet 4 inches tall, about 120 pounds, and in his 20s or early 30s. If you recognize him or have any information, they'd like you to call 1-800-577-TIPS. And as always, you do not have to give your name. We're live on the Lower East Side. I'm Lisa Evers, Fox 5.
They say tried to
All right, so, oh, Lord have mercy, Jesus. Here is the other suspect. If you see this man and you live in New York City, New Jersey, report him ASAP. He attempted to rape a woman on an escalator. They had a scuffle. She was able to get away, get to safety. This was just days before this incident here, this fella. So we've got two sadists running the streets of New York, assaulting women. Now, are these migrants? Because they both look like they're Hispanic males. Are they migrants? Are these people that were migrated here to New York City, left here to fend for themselves, roaming the streets, homeless, don't got nowhere to stay? Do they have somewhere to stay? Lots of questions. When I get an update to both stories, I will pin them to my community page and bring you a short or a live stream pertaining to the content. Now, know that some stories that I update now, I don't do a live stream pertaining to the update, especially older stories. I'll just do a short, 15-second short, or I'll mention it in a live with other content as to cut down my time and going live on just one particular story. As I did yesterday, I did a four-part live where I talked about Wendy Williams, R. Kelly, K-Money Lattice's funeral, and the situation with her alleged father, who, as I said, is currently incarcerated and now in a wheelchair from being shot by authorities, and he hasn't been extradited because of his healthcare situation. That's the latest, everybody. You all have a wonderful weekend. Thank you for the thumbs up. I appreciate that. Continue to follow me here and also on the news break. I have not put any content on the news break in about 2 months or 2 or 3 months. YouTube takes up a lot of my time, so I haven't put anything up over there, so I apologize. But when I'm feeling a little bit better and I want to show myself, I may go live or upload a video over there on the news break. But I do have a lot of videos over there on the news break app. And if you follow me over there, you'll see where I comment on said articles pertaining to breaking news. So follow me over there on the Newsbreak app, download the app, and whenever there's breaking news and the Queen comments, you'll get to see me comment in the article, because I do get a little racy over there. There's so much craziness going on in the world. Before I check out here, I found a story earlier pertaining to a little black baby. She was in daycare, and the mother is taking her out of the daycare. Well, there was an incident at the daycare where one of her braids was missing, and you could see the strip in the child's scalp where there was a braid. I mean, you could see there's like a line, a little thin line in the child's scalp where somebody pulled it out, either another toddler or a teacher. And they're trying to act like it's no big deal. They don't know anything about it. They don't know what happened, but somebody took the child's braid out. The mother even took pictures, I guess, of the child that morning or so before she sent her to school. And it's obvious, it's a bald spot. You can see it's a bald spot. The hair was snatched out some type of way. Now, allegedly, she said she put a smock over the little kid, over her head, or took one off. I don't know if it snatched the hair off, because the baby's hair is fine, of course, or I don't know what happened, but the child's hair is missing. And it's obvious. If you look at the picture, it's a close-up picture of the baby. It's the hair is missing. So I don't know what the hell this daycare is trying to pull a stunt. Matter of fact, I'm gonna show it because I got a little time. I'm almost 30 minutes into this live stream. Let's go to this crazy story right quick, and then we can chop it up right quick, everybody.
I don't really like committing to things. I'm scared.
Sorry about that. I think this is out of New Jersey, this story. Lord have mercy. It just gets worse and worse. Daycare problems. Hold on, everybody.
On Wednesday, and noticed one of the braids in her daughter's hair was missing.
Yeah, she shared photos, there they are, with Eyewitness News that appear to show the missing portion of her daughter's hair.
See the line? You can see the line.
That there was no evidence a braid was pulled from her head. So what happened?
Eyewitness News reporter Janice Yu spoke to the girl's mother, who is now taking legal action against the daycare.
Then that's when she sent me the picture, and That's what I saw, the big bald spot in my child's head with the braid missing.
Tamara Hemingway was stunned. She says she sent her 2-year-old to daycare like this last Wednesday.
So you can see the
with
hair.
4
She had
braids on the
braids.
right side of her head. She says it was only when she called to check in the afternoon, a staff member at Growing Kids Academy noticed one braid on Mila's head was missing.
You have to use some type of force for a braid to be removed. It was a cornrow, so it was braided down to her scalp. There's no way that, I don't know who could have done it, but I know for a fact she or a kid would not have done that.
A report with the Ocean Township Police says Mila's hair looked normal around 11 a.m. The video from inside the classroom shows her playing with her braids several times. The officer notes one of the teachers is seen on video trying to take a smock off of Mila's head around 11:45, at which point she's seen putting her hand up to the right side of her head. After this, the officer no longer saw the braid, and even after searching, the hair and the barrettes were not found.
What troubles me about the case is that the facility deflected, and they told my client various different things. They didn't know if her child pulled it out. They didn't know what happened. At first, they feigned that they had no idea that it even happened.
The director of the daycare tells Eyewitness News it's not clear exactly what happened, but that there's no evidence Mila's hair was pulled out. Hemingway says for her, this isn't so much about the manner in which the braid came off, but the way the daycare handled the situation.
They're supposed to notify me just to even give whatever little information you do have about the incident until you look into it further and confirm. But no one even called me to just let me know that little bit of information. I'm very upset and I'm very frustrated because this is my child. She's not able to let me know what happened, and that's the concerning part. The fact that they're just so insensitive, no one even called me to check on her, see how she was doing.
Hemingway says Mila has now been removed from this daycare, and she also says the 2-year-old has been sensitive to people touching her hair ever since this happened. In Ocean Township, Janice Hugh, Channel 7, Eyewitness News.
Well, that should tell you right there it was pulled out. There's your evidence. There's a visible line on the child's scalp. If you look at the picture close, you can see the line where there was a braid. The mother has pictures of the braids before the incident, which shows that the child did have hair there. You can see here close up that there's hair missing. That long strip there.
Her hand up to the right side of her head.
It's missing.
After this, the officer no longer saw the braid.
So there's a bald spot. So that's a bald spot. And you can see the hair's been pulled at the root because of the fuzziness right there. That shows there was hair there from the root. So, ma'am, when you pulled the smock over the little girl's head, did you notice the hair was missing? Because I got a feeling that's probably what happened. The smock was on, probably tight around her neck, and you had to have yanked it off over her head. And due to the fact that she has fine hair, she's still a baby, it snagged the child's hair. Did it kind of go like that? Probably was a hard canvas type smock. You know, that hard type cotton like canvas. Well, if you rub that hard enough against a child's hair with fine hair, I could see it snatching the hair off because you probably ripped the smock over her head very fast, in a hurry, upset, in a bad mood. Was the child acting up? Was the child crying? You were trying to get her ready to what? Put her down for a nap or what? I think that's what happened. You snatched the smock over her head and it ripped the braid out. And the fact that they didn't find any of the barrettes to the child's hair. Well, where would the barrettes go? Because last I checked, barrettes don't walk. They don't walk or they talk. And the fact that now they're saying the little girl doesn't want anybody touching her head, that would lead me to believe it was snatched out of her head. She just can't talk to tell us somebody pulled it out or that it was ripped out. I believe that's exactly what happened. When she pulled that smock over her head, she probably yanked it in a bad mood and it snatched the baby's hair out. And she don't want to tell the truth. She snatched that baby's hair out by pulling that smock over that baby's head. Is the woman still working there? Number one. What does she have to say? Now, everybody is now going to hear this story that has a child at this daycare. How about that? So now people are going to be fearful of their children, wondering if they're going to come home with hair missing from their scalps. How about that? How about that? Now, it's bad enough the other day I heard a story of a little boy being tied behind, his hands tied behind his back at a daycare. Now we hear of a little black girl getting her braids ripped out, 2 years old, she can't talk, she can't tell nobody. But she knows something isn't right. And we know the kids play with their hair, they twirl their hair. It's just a little, habit that children have. They suck their thumbs, they play with their ears. It's just a nervous tick. But the fact that she has other braids, little poofs and hair barrettes, they're not missing. So why would that one side be missing? Because it got snatched out some type of way. And nobody wants to take responsibility to tell the truth. And now we've got to pray that that hair will grow back. Because one thing people don't understand about hair being snatched from the root, it sometimes does not grow back. It may come back fuzzy, but it don't come back as full hair. Okay? When hair is snatched from the root, it's still thin in that spot. And trust me, it's not a place you ever want to be to ever get your hair pulled out by the root. Get your hair snatched out in a fight, altercation. And now we have to pray that this lady will be able to somehow be able to see if that hair will ever grow back. The comments below this video. And if you'd like to donate to this great network, $Big Angie, 129 Cash App, stickers and chats are always welcome during the live stream. Check out my extensive library, 3,000 plus videos for your entertainment. Also, I have movies for this weekend in case some of you are going to stay in and not go out. And once again, if you see something, say something. Be a part of the solution, not the problem. Mind the children. They are our future. And somebody has to care about them. And as you've seen with the latest stories, especially out of Ohio, Michigan, Chicago, a lot of children don't have appropriate adults to take care of them, to rear them, to love them. And most of us, we can't save everybody. We can't save every child. But God knows we can do our due diligence if we see something that's not right, to call the authorities, as I've said. Bypass the DHS 800 number. Call the authorities if you see something dire pertaining to a child. Don't sit around and wait. And then wait until something horrible happens, then run to the news and say, oh, yeah, I was the neighbor and I heard this and saw this. No, don't do that. You see something, go tell it. You're not a snitch. We're talking about a child. This ain't the street. Nobody has the right to abuse a kid, period. No exceptions. All right, everybody. Thank you all so much for joining me. Have a wonderful weekend, and I'll be back later with more stimulating content and commentary. Let's catch this dirty booger and the other guy who attempted to rape a woman in a New York subway. Justice for the dead man and also this lady who was assaulted. And I'm sure that lady's probably very fearful to ride the subway now. And once again, I don't recommend anyone riding the subway late if you don't have to. Don't even risk it. A woman has no business out on the subway platform at 2 o'clock in the morning. It's dangerous. I don't recommend it. And I know you can get hurt any type of way, even if you're doing Uber, Lyft, or whatever. I don't recommend being out on foot in a major city or anywhere at that time of morning. So please be careful, ladies and gents too. Let's catch this guy. He's a dirty bugger. He needs to be off the streets. Amen. Thank you. Y'all have a wonderful weekend. You've been listening to the Vault XL.